Metrics, shaping everybody.
This is Dave Palumbo with RxMuscle.com in the Iron Asylum with Brian Posdish. We are here less than 3 weeks out from the 2010 NPC USA Championships. We're going to be doing a little chest training here at Jurassic Park Gym in Richmond, Michigan. Welcome, Brian.
How you doing, brother?
Now, Brian, I had to pronounce your full name, but everyone knows you as Brian Pads. Or Paz, I guess because no one can pronounce your last name. Is that the idea?
Yeah, well, it started that way when I was in elementary school. I get down to the P's. It's, Stacy Parkins, Brian. I just raised my hand because nobody could ever pronounce my name. So
you probably would have been alphabetically right before me, so that's not too bad. They had an easier time with my name. Now, I assume that's you told me that was Polish. Is that right?
Yeah, I'm 50% Polish, 50% Italian.
Wow, what a combination! Only the Polish could have come up with a name like that, right? The Italians would have made it much more simpler than that.
Yeah, my Italian side is Zuccaro, so that would have been much easier.
Much easier. But then again, you wouldn't be Brian Paz if you weren't that. Let's talk a little bit about, you've been around for a number of years now. When did you first really get onto that national level scene? What year was that?
I won the Michigan back in 2006. That's when I first stepped on the scene at Junior Nationals. And took third 3 weeks after the Michigan rep behind Brandon Curry in the light heavy division.
Yeah, I remember that. I was at that show. So you win the Michigan, which is a huge title in the state of Michigan. I know because I've interviewed a lot of Michigan guys. When you go there, it's probably more impressive than getting your pro card, winning the Mr. Michigan. And so you become a little bit of a local celebrity at that point. And you say to yourself, all right, I want to go to the national level. I want to get my pro card. Obviously, that's the goal. What is, to date, what's your best placing to date at nationals?
My best placing nationally was the third at the Junior Nationals. Since then, it seemed like every show that I went to, there's either some kind of mix-up or I just didn't place as well as I wanted to. And a lot of it contributed. I talked to a lot of different people, a lot of the judges, including people like yourself, and I have a great physique, but my upper body was just overpowering my lower body. Even though my legs were good, they were not matching my upper body, symmetry-wise. So what my goal was this last year was to go back to the dungeon, back to the park, train with my cousin Dave and a friend of mine, Mark Bransky, who are both great guys. Mark's an ex-Michigan competitor, and my cousin never competed, although he should. And I told them, I said, I need to improve my legs, and they pushed me, and I definitely improved my legs and everything else, but they tortured me. I mean, they stood behind me the whole way, and they helped me get where I'm at now, and I feel really strongly about where I'm at and getting ready for this show.
Now, is it true that this gym, Jurassic Park, is actually in a basement of your cousin's house?
It's actually in the basement. Yeah, it's a facility that's bar none. My cousin's a fanatic of Dorian Yates, blood and guts, hardcore training. There'd be times where he'd be in the basement, and he's got a separate entrance from his garage into the gym part of the basement, as well as the you can enter from the house as well. And there'd be times where we'd get done doing legs, and I remember laying on the floor, crawling up the stairs, getting down the driveway, slamming a shake and throwing up in the driveway. I mean, we train hard.
It looks pretty big to me. I don't know if it's just an illusion. It looks pretty well stocked as well.
Oh, it is. I mean, he's got quite a bit involved in that. We've all put time, money, and effort into that place. And like I said, we turned the music on. I mean, Jeff Saga was freaking out because the music was so loud. We played, heavy metal, and it was just vibrating the place. But Jeff was right at home. He loved it. And, like I said, these guys pushed me hard. And if you see them walk around the video, they're prehistoric. And that's where the whole name came from, because these guys are prehistoric monster guys like the Dorian Yates and the Nassar days and things of that nature. And that's how we train.
Well, you look pretty historic yourself in this thing. I mean, I don't think there's anyone freakier on the national scene right now. You got that shredded, peeled conditioning. You got the freaky muscle bellies. But you know what? You got good proportion. You got a small waist. Do you think the judges are scared of you? I mean, do you think it's so extreme that they don't know what to do with you?
Well, honestly, I'll be honest with you. What I think it is when I came out of the Michigan and doing well, and I walked to the Nationals, I had the blonde hair and the goatee, and I think they were kind of mystified, like, who is this crazy guy? And then, I talked to a lot of the judges, and one of the biggest things is they want to see improvement, and they don't want to see just one little thing. If there's something specific they're looking for, until you present that to them, they're not satisfied, and I totally understand that because that's what the sport's about. And I got picked up by Optimum Nutrition, ABB. I started working with the guru George Farah, who the guy is phenomenal. And I had great conversations with you as well, and it pushed me in the right direction. And this year, I also got to hook up with Charles Glass because he's part of the team now, and he was just mystified. He could not believe how good I looked and where I was at. And I'm only 5'4", and in the off season, I'm 245, 250.
That's incredible. Now, what are you going to weigh on stage?
I was looking at, going in as a heavyweight, but I'm going to let the cat out of the bag. I'm at 201.5 right now, and I'm bigger than ever. No matter what division I step in, short of super heavyweight, I'm going to do damage. I'm ready to do this. I have a positive outlook on this, and everybody that's seen me, from friends of mine like Ken Jackson, Ron Ferreira, and just Fred Smalls and guys that know me, Brandon Curry, Steve Kuklo.
Sure.
They were all like, wow. I mean, dude, you just put on a major size. Your legs have come up unbelievable. And Charles Glass pulled me aside and said, hey, you got the patch to go pro. And I'm telling you that, and I don't just tell that to anybody. And he's played a big part in pushing me as well. But I owe a lot to George Farah, obviously, because he's the guy that pushed me diet-wise. He kind of gets in my ear a lot, and the whole Optimum ABB team, they've been a great support team for me.
Well, I don't think conditioning was ever a problem for you, was it? I mean, you were always ripped on stage. I never saw that you weren't ripped. Do you feel that your conditioning was lacking last year?
No, I mean, I was when I did the 2008 North Americans, I didn't even get called out. I was kind of floored because you were there,
yeah.
And I thought it was phenomenal. But, it's the way the ball bounces. Like I said, you got to present to the judges, hey, I made the improvements. I've done my homework. And I've done my homework. I had sleep apnea. I wasn't sleeping. I got that taken care of. And my legs have increased 2.5 inches in size.
Wow.
So
what have you done that you think brought those legs up so much? Was it just training more consistently? Were you sleeping better because of the sleep apnea you've solved? Or what was the reason?
The sleep apnea had a lot to do with it, but like I said, I pushed a friend of mine, Lawrence Hunt, to get his pro card at the Nationals.
I remember. You looked great.
I pushed him hard, and he's like, you got a physique. He goes, just do what you have to do. And like I said, I went back to the drawing board, and my cousin took me and said, he goes, listen, this is what we're going to do. You're going to squat like a beast. He goes, you're going to squat like a monster. We're going to push you. And we did. I mean, I have been squatting up to 550, 600 pounds.
Wow.
For 5 to 6 reps. And being only 5'4", I mean, yeah, everybody says, well, you're short, so you don't have far to go down. But it's a lot of weight, and I carry it well. I'm also a 6-degree black belt, a martial artist, so I'm constantly stretching, doing everything I have to do. But it's all about the training, and I owe a lot to my cousin and the guys that pushed me, like I said, to George and Optimum, because with the guidance that I have, I don't see how I can go wrong.
So you're a dangerous dude in addition to being as big and freaky as you are. Is that what you're trying to say?
Yeah, I guess so. I got a great personality, and a great demeanor, and good self-discipline and patience. But I'm not the kind of person that you'd probably want to set off in the wrong direction. So,
now, have you ever had any fights? Any like people starting with you at a bar because you're a short guy and you had to take their lights out or anything like that?
I've worked in a lot of clubs, and there was points where I've had to deal with situations, and I think the biggest one is I used to have a friend of mine that owned a club in Mount Clemens, which is a suburb city in Michigan, and there was a situation where it was me and I walked outside with 11 guys, and I walked back in with a couple scratches. So, but it's not something I do on a regular basis.
No, you're a nice guy. You're a nice guy. No, I've talked to you before. You're not a troublemaker. You don't start.
No, I train a lot of MMA fighters. I've been doing martial arts 35 years. I was recently inducted in the Martial Arts Hall of Fame in 2008. So I've been around. Like I said, I've done my homework, and I'm ready to do this show and get that pro card in bodybuilding. I feel that I've reached the pinnacle of where I know that my physique now is where it needs to be. Not that I said, not that I thought it was perfect before, but there's just a point where you've put in a lot of effort and done your homework. And when people start coming up to you and telling you without you asking, that's huge. Jeff Long did that when we were at the Arnold working together. He's like, "What are you, 5'6"?" I'm like, "No, I'm only 5'4". He goes, "Geez, you're almost as big as I am." And coming from Jeff Long, that was a big compliment.
Yeah, well, I think a lot of people don't realize, that there's a lot of guys out there that have a lot of potential. This just goes to show you how difficult the national level is and how much competition is out there. It seems to me that if you do get your pro card this year, and I'm not going to jinx you, so I'm not going to say anything, but if you do, that 202 class is custom made for you at your height and everything.
I really feel that that's where I belong. I'm not going to lie to you, Dave. You know as well as I do. I've talked to you on many occasions, and you've been a pretty straightforward and big inspiration as well. And you've always been honest with me. And I know I can do damage in the 202 division. It's tailor-made for me, being my size, but I wouldn't be afraid to go in the open division either. But I feel the 202 is a great fit.
Now, I see you have some kind of mask on. You're doing cable crossovers with. What the hell is that? You look like you look like someone from the Lord of the Rings.
Okay, as Jerry Toronto, a friend of mine, would say, he lives out in your area.
Yeah,
he said, if you want to be the freak, you gotta act the freak. You gotta train the freak. My cousin, he's into medieval stuff, and he's got everything from war hammers to war clubs to battle axes, and he just thought it would be comical because Jeff Saigo was loving the atmosphere to throw that helmet on me, that medieval warrior helmet with the horsehair, and had me doing a couple sets of that on just to add some flair for the video. And Jeff Saigo was like, "Yeah, that's going to be the picture that Dave needs for the cover, guaranteed. You're a freak." Without
a doubt. So, you know what? I think the only thing missing from this gym is I think you got to get someone in there to do some spray paint graffiti on the walls.
Dave, I'm glad you said that. We've been trying to get somebody in there to paint Jurassic Park on the wall.
Oh yeah,
we're trying to get the carpet. And then in the area where there's no carpet, there's just a cement floor in that one area, and the rest is all matted. But we were trying to get that and the graffiti done before we shot the video.
Would have been awesome.
We just couldn't. Nobody wants to work.
Yeah,
we're in Michigan.
Right?
Everybody's broke.
And then no one wants to work.
Yep.
We'll put it out there. Anyone from Michigan watching this who's a good artist, contact Brian Paz because we got some work for you to do.
Exactly.
Yeah, I think that would be great to put some freaking crazy dinosaur shit on the wall because the backdrop looks too tame actually for the gym. If I had to mute the music because it was so loud, so I can actually have this interview with you. But I wouldn't know that it was such a hardcore gym if you guys didn't, because the walls look like they're pastel-y, almost in color.
Yeah, well, he had that done when we were trying to match up the equipment. He wanted to get a blue and black speckled carpet with the graffiti on the wall. That's Jurassic Park gym, and the prehistoric freaks train here and live here and dwell here, and they have pictures of the guys that actually can stick around. We've had friends of ours come in there, work out one day, and never come back. So,
well, I'd love to get a couple more guys in this dungeon here, especially when you get the walls painted, because this could be like a little hardcore mecca that no one knows about. Kind of like you said, like a little Dorian Yates gym that we use for.
Yeah, well, John Dewey showed up, and John Dewey was like, "Dude, you look the best I've ever seen." He goes, "You're gonna get what you want. You're gonna get that status, that pro status." I'm gonna try my best. I go, I feel confident. He goes, "Can I work out here with you guys? This place rocks."
Well, look, this video was shot at 3 weeks out, and you look like you were ready to step on stage here. I mean, what did you weigh in the video?
2 16.
Wow, so you've gotten 14 pounds lighter than what you are in this video?
Yeah, I'm 202.5 right now, brother.
God, I don't know how you're doing it. You must be dying, probably.
Oh, you know what? I'm motivated. Big Sean Allen said it best. He goes, stay focused, hocus pocus. You're going to do this. He goes, you got the full package. And when I was at Team U, sweating and dying because there's no air conditioning with you there, George and I were sitting there, and he's like, brother, he goes, you stay freaky, you get tight. He goes, you got it all night. He goes, you look great. And like I said, I mean, ever since I got my sleep apnea taken care of, and I went back to my roots and trained with my cousin, who's a genetic freak. If you look at him, the guy could step on stage in a heartbeat if he wanted to die down and win a show in a heartbeat. He's the kind of guy like the Dorian Yates. If you can't beat it by a country mile, you're not going to win. He's 40 years old. I'm trying to get him to step on stage, and I think he'll do well. But ever since I got back and with them guys doing what I do and got my sleep taken care of, I feel unbelievable.
Well, you look great, Brian. I'm excited to see what you're going to do. You got me excited now after watching this video. I want to see how you do on stage. You got a great personality. Hopefully, I'll get to interview you after you win your class and hopefully get that pro card. Good luck, man.
I'm with you, brother.
All right, well, for now, we're out of time. I'm Dave Palumbo with Brian Paz in the Iron Asylum.